Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we combine headlines from our city, state, and country with your comments, questions, suggestions, and ideas to hopefully connect with one another, connect with our city, connect with the place that we call home, Puerto Vallarta, as a community of English-speaking locals. My name is Paco, and as always, it's a pleasure to get together with you whenever we are here, which is Monday through Saturday. Today is our last day of the week in which we broadcast, although, as some of you know, we have a special broadcast tomorrow, and we'll talk a little bit about that later on in today's program. It is May 21st, and it's getting balmy, and it's getting humid, and more articles are saying that it's going to rain more and soon. We're going to have some articles about that, some news about that. We're going to have news about the green tide. We have a versatile tide, apparently, ladies and gentlemen. It changes colors. We've been talking about the red tide, and now the tide is turning green, whatever that is. It is a pleasure to welcome you for the first time. If you're joining us live for the first time, you can let us know by writing the word new in your comment, and that way we will give you a nice little welcome. Let's see. Oh, good to hear from you, Meggie, as in Peggy, still in COVID jail. Haven't tested yet, but still feeling totally fine. That's good to hear. We'll get to all the rest of your good mornings in a second, but let's see. What else do we have? Well, we have a little bit of this and that. We might as well get started with our news, and we will get to your comments later on. And as always, if you have something truly important that you wish to share or ask about, it helps a great deal if you add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment. Let's get going. So yes, we've been reporting about the red tide for a few weeks now, but now there's more. Apparently, authorities are now warning of the green tide, or increase of certain types of algae that is green or are green, I don't know, in parts of the bay, and particularly in Yelapa and the Marieta Islands, they say. Authorities have identified the microalgae as Eutreptiella, or Sally to her friends, and they recommend that the population should take precautions, but they don't get specific, although they do recommend no swimming wherever water looks unusually green. So I think that's a good recommendation for starters, although Kermit the Frog must be having a field day with this one. Now, this wouldn't be the first time that our administration or any administration in the city toots their own horn for some accomplishment associated with equipment or features that stop working and do not get properly repaired or properly maintained, Los Muertos Pier and the funicular that goes up to the La Cruz vantage point come to mind. And now the fairly new elevator that was installed not even a year ago, or maybe two at the most, at City Hall to help senior citizens and others reach the second story without having to climb the stairs, is no longer working. And according to this news note from Noticias PB, the elevator is now obsolete. Now, is Noticias PB jumping the gun? Could be, maybe not. But you'd think that something so visible in our own city hall, they would either fix it immediately or dismantle it to pretend it never existed, like the promise of an air-conditioned city bus system. Now I'm sure I dreamt about that and it's all in my imagination. There were never air-conditioned buses to begin with. Of course there were air-conditioned buses, and we know that, but that's a different story. We recently announced the 46th Tianguis Turístico, or Tourism Marketplace, to take place in Acapulco. Well, the time for this event is now, and the Puerto Vallarta delegation is leaving today to engage from tomorrow to Wednesday with a number of tourism industry representatives in order to attract them to our city, to our destination. According to Tourism Bureau Director Luis Antonio Villaseñor, there are over 100 appointments already scheduled for representatives from Puerto Vallarta to meet with business partners, hotel room wholesalers, and airlines. And this is all very good and very important because it helps bring more tourism to our city. And now back to my obsession with the Americas Summit. Yes, the latest is that the invitations have started to be sent out, but the United States will not reveal the list of guests until all invitations have been sent. And you're probably wondering, well, Paco, why on earth are you so obsessed with this event of which you know very little about? It's not even happening in Puerto Vallarta. And yes, Mexico is invited, but we don't know exactly what the impact of the event is. And I asked myself that same question this morning. Why the fuck do you keep talking about this summit? And I came to realize that the summit I'm attracted to and I'm curious about because it reminds me of so many family reunions I used to attend with my parents, or weddings. You know, you're planning a wedding, and if the countries where wedding guests and where relatives, you know, you don't want to sit cousin Marty next to cousin Lupita because they threw drinks at each other in last year's Christmas gathering, or you don't want to invite Carmen, the cousin that has uncontrollable flatulence, or you don't want to invite cousin Pepe because he falls asleep at the dinner table. I mean, I just think the conversations must be so funny about who to invite and who not to invite. But I also realize that I'm just obsessing about this and I don't know why, so please forgive me. I will keep talking about it until you tell me, Paco, snap out of it. Enough with the Americas Summit. Actually, I'm just curious about what's going to happen. But not now. Let us now take a look at the weather forecast just to see what is going to happen within the next couple of days. Lucky for you, my crappy weather machine is in the shop for repairs, says our snarky weatherman. I read that we are enjoying 25 degrees Celsius right now. Feels a little warmer, feels like 27. Humidity is at 57%. There is still no chance of precipitation. It's listed at 0%. And for Fahrenheit devotees, I can see that we are enjoying 78 degrees right now. Our forecast for the weekend involves a clear day today with a high of 30, a low of 21. Tomorrow, Sunday, another clear day with high of 31 and a low of 21. And then on Monday, another clear day with a high of 30, and it's going to be a little cooler at night with a low of 19. And of course, we keep seeing more and more news articles about the upcoming weather season, and now and how it's going to be stronger than in years past. And the latest such article comes from Vallarta Opina, where a researcher from Mexico's Institute of Astronomy and Meteorology by the name of Jaime Alcalá estimates that the La Nina phenomenon will bring constant rain in Jalisco as early as the first half of June. I say make it so. I mean, but if there are any newbies out there, folks that are enjoying summer for the first time and you don't know exactly what happens when it rains, I'd like to volunteer some tips and encourage the rest of you to share your very own here in the comments right now. For example, if it's rain season in Puerto Vallarta, there are certain things that I start carrying. I carry a small umbrella with me. I also carry chanclas or rubber slippers because oftentimes, you may be riding the bus or you hopped on an Uber, and by the time you get to your destination, all of a sudden, it's raining and you don't want to get your nice shoes wet, so you comfortably take off your shoes and your socks, put them in your backpack, and you put on your chanclas, your rubber slippers, and you are fine. Or at least that's what I do. I always get in the habit of carrying small plastic bags for my electronic devices. The nice thing about it is that we don't get cold, uncomfortable rain. A lot of times, if I have my plastic bags with me and I'm close to my house, I don't mind getting wet. Quite the contrary, I welcome it. And I usually carry a large plastic bag to keep my entire backpack inside of it. What are your favorite tips for dealing with the rain? Please feel free to share them in your comments, and we'll take a look at them when we get to the comment section in a second. Well, a few seconds anyway. I found out that this new bar that we mentioned, Gran Vas in El Centro. Has anybody been to the new wine bar called Gran Vas? Now they are promoting live music on Saturdays. They are featuring Zuni, live music with Zuni. Unfortunately, they failed to mention anything about the performer, but hopefully they will fine-tune their promotional efforts moving forward. I actually did some homework because I was curious. I want to know who the fuck is Zuni. And I did a search on Google and I looked at pages, and there are Zuni pages for all kinds of things, from clothing brands to travel companies to camera photography. And there's an actor, Zuni, but it's hard to know who this Zuni is and what she plays. Looking at people didn't help either. I even did a search for Zuni in Puerto Vallarta, and I could not find Zuni. So, dear friends from Granba or anybody that is promoting live music, let us know what the music is about. Because if we're going to go to a venue and we want to enjoy the live music, music is a broad experience. So we want to know if it's troubadour music or salsa or whatever. Just help yourselves so that we can get more excited about attending your event. Something else that caught my eye coming up for the next weekend is a workshop on how to make traditional terracotta vessels. This sounds like fun. I mean, you could also go to Home Depot and just get your plant pots and not have to worry about it. But the fact that you can learn how to make your own terracotta vessels sounds really intriguing. The cost is only 600 pesos, and that includes materials. And it's in Colonia Lopez Mateos. This should be interesting. I don't know anything about the instructor, but I thought I would probably share this with you, and I just did. I also want to remind you that tomorrow we have this very special, oh, good Lord, I don't even know what to call it, but just as a reminder, a few months ago, somebody called me a pissy ass queen, or decided that I engage in pissy ass queen mode while I'm doing the broadcast. And I figured, first I was offended, and I guess I still am, but then I thought to myself, we all have a pissy ass queen within ourselves, so we might as well acknowledge it and commiserate about our good and bad experiences, harnessing the power of our inner pissy ass queen mode. This will be tomorrow. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. You should have received an invitation if you are a current subscriber, or if you are a supporter of Coffee and Headlines. And you will have, as I mentioned a couple of days ago, the option to just watch and comment, or I will hope that some of you will actually come on board with me and will be interviewed and share your experiences live with the rest of us. These could be funny, these could be painful, these could be hopefully a learning experience. And now, before my last share of today, I wanted to take a look at your comments because the last share of the day has some very interesting parting thoughts that we can all benefit from. I see a lot of good mornings as always, and they make me so very happy. Um, Albert gets in the spirit. I think today I need to practice my PAQM, my pissy ass queen mode for tomorrow. My best advice for you, if you're going to practice, Albert, do it in front of a mirror so you can laugh with yourself. Not at yourself, but with yourself. Let's see what else we have. Good morning here. Good morning there. I love it. More good mornings. Oh, we have konnichiwa to all from Spencer Tracy Lutz. Thank you very much. Uh, Albert says that green is envious of the red tide. Maybe I don't understand these tides. I'm just grateful for swimming pools with chlorine these days. Let's see what else we have. Good morning, Puerto Vallarta. Your broadcast is an extension to my vacation. Thanks and keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Tocayo, Francois. We share the same first name, Francisco. This makes us Tocayos. Thank you for the good wishes. They are much appreciated. Let's see. Ta-da-da-ta-ta. Maggie chimes in on the Tianguis Turístico. I have attended Tianguis in the past because I'm in the travel industry, and it was a very good, productive experience. I have also attended the Tianguis Turístico as a reporter, and yes, it is a very important event where people that move people to visit different cities are there to make the best of it. Absolutely. Let's see what else we do. This is so funny. Gary says, I get more info about the summit than in the United States media. Well, I'm just curious about the whole thing. What can I tell you? Daniel has a good question. You recently took a trip to Guadalajara. I've been out of the loop for a few weeks. It's great to see you back. Did you do a show on recommendations for visiting Guadalajara? I will be there 5 days and would love some tips from your perspective. Well, Daniel, the good news is that we haven't done the special broadcast about Guadalajara, but it is definitely happening this week as I'm almost done editing all my photos and video footage. And it will probably be some evening this week. We'll plan it, and it'll be a lot of fun. Do we need to have rubber boots, says Brian. Well, we had a huge discussion of rubber boots last year or the year before. A viewer was obsessed on finding duck rubber boots, I remember. And my personal take on rubber boots is that they're probably really warm. And when it rains here, it's really humid. So do you want your feet to be all sweaty inside of your rubber boots? Probably not. My take is wear chanclas. Yes, your toes would get all kinds of wet with all kinds of stuff in the water, which is probably not fun. But you wash your feet and you scrub them as soon as you get home, and you're fine. You're fine. Don't forget to apply sunscreen even if it's cloudy or raining. The sun can get you even through the cloud cover. Oh, so very true. Very, very true. A lot of times I think to myself, oh, it's nice and overcast. I'm going to go in the pool and I'm not going to have to worry about sunburn. Not true. It really does happen. So if you're going to be swimming even on a cloudy day, don't forget to wear sunscreen lotion. Let's see what else we have. Yes, Meggie, remember last year? Last year, somebody went on and on and on with their rubber boots, which is fine too, but rubber boots are probably not very practical in Puerto Vallarta. Barbara um, breaks it down: umbrella for sun or rain, rubber flip flops, plastic bags, just as you suggest. I also carry wet wipes as well to wipe my feet off after I have waded through caca. My point precisely. Yes, unfortunately, there is caca in the water wherever you go. Let's see what else we have. When the rain comes in the afternoon, that's a good time to get out of the pool and take a siesta. Oh, absolutely. Sherry says, did not receive a PAQM, a Pissy as Queen mode invite. Um, I would check on your spam folder, Sherry. If you are a member or a supporter of Coffee and Headlines, you should have gotten one from Buy Me a Coffee. The same thing goes to Karen. If you did not receive it, check your spam folder or simply go into buymeacoffee.com/Ojeda Paco, which is where the notification is. You should be able to log in and let me know if you have any problems. Of course, you only received an invitation if you are a current supporter or subscriber to Coffee and Headlines. Let's see. Spencer says, yes, I am as of 5/12. However, no invitation yet. Let me show you what happens or what should happen. If you go into www.buymeacoffee.com/Ojeda Paco, which is an address that we constantly feature. Oh, let me cough. Hold on. You will find posts at the top of the page. So if you hit on posts, you will see the latest post, which is harness the power of your inner pissy ass queen mode. And of course, it says this post is for supporters only, at which point you want to log in or you want to become a supporter. And that's where you find all the information about tomorrow's spontaneous little I don't even know what to call it, gathering, workshop, comedy hour, whatever. But that's how you get to find out about it. Susie asks, where do I find the invite? I believe we just answered. Let's see what else. Da 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 da. Gary says, my invite went to my promotions box in Gmail, not the normal inbox. That happens, absolutely. Karen says, maybe I have to renew my membership. Well, memberships renew automatically, Karen. If you don't see it, let me know. Send me a message this afternoon and I'll be happy to take a look at it. Or again, simply try to log into buymeacoffee.com with the same credentials that you used to pay for your membership. Let's see. And this applies to all those of you that say you should have gotten it. Let's see. Oh, Anna has some advice. The problem with flip-flops is that when it is wet, that is what you do. You flip and you flop. That deserves one of these. This is true. When I say flip-flops, I don't mean that literally. I mean there are better and worse rubber sandals that you can wear. Some of them will indeed just slip out of your feet. But remember that water currents while you're walking around the city and you're crossing streets can be fairly strong. So you may lose them in the process of crossing. So don't just go out and get the least expensive flip-flops you can get. But on the other hand, don't go out and get the fancy schmancy ones that you would regret if they end up floating away on their own. And this brings us to the end. Oh, let's see. Kate asks, will we learn how to have the best PCS Queen mode we possibly can? Well, that's entirely up to you. I think we can certainly take a dent into that adventure, and I'll be looking for people to participate. Let's see. Barbara sends a very good reminder. Just a reminder to those who used to pay with PayPal. If you didn't change to another form of payment, you have not been a member for several months. That might be why you haven't received an invite. This is correct. Buymeacoffee.com at some point stopped working directly with PayPal, so you should have gotten a message to change your form of payment, and it's possible that that message also went to your junk mail folder. In any event, all you have to do is visit this link, which is available in your show notes. It's available at the beginning of the comments today. It's the first comment that appears, and here it is. And of course, that is a place where you can find out the status of your membership or let me know. Is it same time tomorrow? Asks Susie. The answer is no. Tomorrow we will meet at 3 p.m. local time. 3 p.m. local time. And with that, I think this is a good time to show you my best piece of advice for today, which comes from a chalkboard a day. Don't add to the population. Don't subtract from the population. Stay out of the hospital, newspaper, and jail. And if you do end up in jail, establish dominance quickly. What a great way to go. Have a good Saturday. And if I don't see you tomorrow afternoon, I will see you sometime soon. Have a good one.